Elizabeth's eyes snapped open to the unfamiliar weight pressing against her chest. In the dim blue glow of the Habitat module's emergency lighting, she could make out 3 pairs of luminescent eyes staring back at her. The Zyrathi cubsy, no larger than a house cat, but covered in iridescent scales that shifted between copper and violet, had somehow bypassed every security protocol and nested themselves into the thermal folds of her sleeping pod. Oh, for the love of she sat up slowly, careful not to disturb them. The largest cub, the one she'd mentally nicknamed Spark, chirped softly and burrowed deeper into her blanket. Liam is going to have a field day with this. As if summoned by thought alone, her communication panel chimed. Liam's face appeared on the screen, his dark eyes already crinkled with barely suppressed amusement. He was stationed in the observation deck, 3 levels above, supposedly monitoring the Zyrathi mother, who'd been circling their research station for the past 72 hours. "Let me guess," Liam said, leaning back in his chair. "You've got company." "How did you know?" Elizabeth carefully extracted herself from beneath the pile of warm, purring scales. The cubs protested with a symphony of squeaks and chirps that sounded disturbingly like human laughter, because Mama Zyrathi just stopped her patrol pattern and parked herself directly outside your module. "She's been watching your window for the past 20 minutes. Liam's expression shifted from amused to concerned. "Lizzie, I think she chose you." Elizabeth's breath caught. In the 6 months since humanity had established first contact with the Zyrathi on this remote moon of Kepler-4, they'd learned precious little about the species' social structures. The reptilian creatures were intelligent, that much was clear from their complex vocal patterns and tool use, but they'd remained frustratingly distant from human researchers. "Until now." "Chose me for what?" Elizabeth whispered, though the cubs seemed completely unbothered by her voice. One of them, a smaller female with distinctive gold markings, had claimed her pillow and was methodically arranging it to optimal comfort specifications. "I think," Liam said slowly, pulling up data files on his secondary screen, "that you've just been adopted. Look at this." He shared his display with her panel. It showed thermal imaging of the past week, tracking movement patterns around the research station. Every night, the mother Zyrathi has been bringing her cubs closer to the human habitats, but only yours. "She's been testing you, Lizzie." Elizabeth looked down at the 3 cubs, who had now formed a protective triangle around her legs, their scales synchronizing to a soft, pulsing amber. It was a behavior the xenobiology team had noted meant contentment and trust. But why me? She'd been careful to maintain standard protocols, to observe without interfering. She hadn't even been the primary researcher on the Zyrathi project. That was Dr. Chun's domain. "Maybe that's exactly why," Liam suggested. "You didn't try to study them. You just existed near them. Humans are good at that, you know, being present without being threatening." It was true that Elizabeth had spent many evenings sitting outside her module, reading or simply watching Kepler-4 for 2B's massive gas giant rise over the horizon. And yes, she'd noticed the Zyrathi mother observing from a distance. She'd even started leaving her food synthesizer's waste heat vent open because she'd noticed the cubs seemed to enjoy basking in the warm air. But she'd thought nothing of it. "Liam, what am I supposed to do? I can't just keep them." "Why not?" His question was serious now, not teasing. "Think about what this means. First contact protocols assumed we'd have to spend years earning trust. But this is different. This is a Zyrathi choosing to integrate her family with a human. Do you understand how unprecedented that is?" Elizabeth did. It went against every xenobiological model they'd constructed. Species didn't just adopt members of alien civilizations into their family units. It didn't make evolutionary sense. Yet here were 3 cubs, making biscuits on her thermal blanket and chirping contentedly. "I need to contact Dr. Chen," Elizabeth said, but even as she spoke, Spark, the largest cub, climbed up her arm and pressed his small, warm head against her neck. The gesture was so trusting, so vulnerable, that she felt something shift in her chest. "Or," Liam countered gently, "you could contact her in the morning. Right now, those cubs need sleep, and so do you." Elizabeth looked at the cubs, then at the window where she could now see the massive silhouette of the mother Zyrathi, her scales glowing softly in the moonlight. The creature wasn't aggressive or anxious. She was waiting, trusting. "This is insane," Elizabeth muttered, but she was already settling back into her sleeping pod. The cubs immediately swarmed her, arranging themselves with the precision of a puzzle solving itself. spark across her chest. The gold-marked female she decided to call her Ember curled against her left side, and the smallest, shyest cub nestled into the crook of her right arm. "Welcome to xenobiology," Liam said with a soft laugh, "where sometimes the greatest discoveries choose you." "Good night, Liam. Good night, Lizzie. Good night, cubs." As the communication panel dimmed, Elizabeth felt the rhythmic breathing of 3 small lives synchronized with her own. Through the window, the mother Xyrathy lowered herself to the ground, her vigilant watch continuing, but her posture relaxed, trusting perhaps humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their adaptability. Elizabeth thought, as sleep began to claim her. Perhaps it was their capacity to be chosen, to be trusted by the universe's other children, to build families across the stars, not through conquest or calculation, but through simple, patient presence. The cubs purred in harmony, a sound like distant thunder mixed with wind chimes. And for the first time since arriving on this alien moon, Elizabeth felt truly at home. In the morning, everything would change. Dr. Chen would be ecstatic. Command would want reports. The scientific community would demand explanations. But tonight, she was simply Elizabeth, keeper of 3 small lives who decided she was worth trusting. And somehow, that felt like the most human thing of all.